Welcome everyone. We're proud and excited to host you here at the Food Tech Center in Kiryat Shmona, the northmost city in Israel, and really happy to present to you one of the most promising startups that grew up here at Studio Galil. Studio Galil, it's a tailor-made program made especially for food tech startups to take them to the next step. In the last 3 years, we established more than 30 companies that raised more than $35 million. And we are proud and very happy to present to you today MAMAY. MAMAY SaaS platform launched today. It's the first phase of a startup poised to disrupt the way novel food products are developed, marketed, and much more. I'm happy to present to you Yuval Klein, the founder and CEO of MAMAY Ltd, who will take you through an exciting journey of food sensations. Please, Yuval.
Hi, very happy to be here with you. I'm very happy that you're around here. I'm very excited. I'm waiting for this moment 8 years. And it's again. So forgive me for being very short in what I'm going to tell you, and to the point. It's going to help me survive. So today, we are launching TasteGAGE Sweetness 1.0. What is TasteGAGE? TasteGAGE is a simulator for taste. We feel something, we know how sweet it is, but we don't know how much sweet it is. Because if we know how much sweet it is, then we can say we like it, we don't like it. As temperature, as decibel, sound, as everything is quantified, but taste yet never been quantified, and this is what we are doing. How we do that? To do that, first of all, we need to know what is one sweetness, because we don't have one sweetness. So we need to decide what will be the one sweetness. We decided to take sucrose. Sucrose is the main sweeteners that everybody uses, and there is a point where we taste sweetness from sucrose that we start feeling something. We put a little bit sugar in water and we feel it and we feel it, and then we start feeling something. We decided that this will be the point, and it is important. It's like Kelvin, it's like Celsius. We decided that one sweetness will be 3.423 grams of sucrose and 1 liter. Now this is measurable, yes? No questions. Take this amount, put it in 1 liter, taste it, this is 1 value. But it's more complicated, like everything. We have also glucose and fructose, and they are different, and they affect our buds differently. So we need to understand this, but there are research the same. What is the relationship, the related sweetness value of each sweetener? So we can take this into our equation, put it inside, understanding what will happen if we put glucose instead of sucrose. It's more complicated than that. Sometimes it depends on the concentrations. You put a compound, it feels like that. You put a compound, it feels more. And then you put more, it feels less. So there is a curve, a logarithm. It's a knowledge that you probably know. So we took this information, it's mathematics, we put it inside the algorithm, now we have that too. But it's not enough. We have also synergy. We understand that if we put one sweetener together with another sweetener, then we get synergy about the effect of sweetness that we are going to feel. 1 + 1 come to be 3. A lot of knowledge regarding that exists. We took all this knowledge, put it inside our algorithm. Now, when we have this, when we know how much sweetness is 1, when we know each sweetness, what is the impact that it gives us, we can calculate. We can say in this kind of volume, we are going to put this gram of sugar, and we are going to get X val of sweetness. Val, by the way, it's value. Now, I have it written. I like you to remember to put questions in the side, in the Zoom, and we will going to answer that later on. So I did it. In order for you to use this system, this calculator, this simulator, you can choose the word, we build TasteGauge. TasteGauge is a site, it's a desktop site that anyone can go there, try it out, and see what is the sweetness of any combination of sweeteners. We build the system together with Wix, so we want to say thank you to Wix. Nawal Arafat helped us to make it look as we like it to be. Thank you to Nawal. And Gal helped us to build the algorithm database. It's enormous amount of data. It's there. How it works. So this is what we called GAGE. GAGE, it's like gauge, it's like how we measure things. It's measurement word. Sometimes people don't know much about it, but we decided to take this. So we are trying now to measure how it works. You go to the site, you change the volume, you change the mass of any of the sweeteners, and you click Gauge. Thinking. And you're getting an answer. So this machine knows to tell you what will be the impact of sweetness of any combination of sweeteners. And we have 70 sweeteners there waiting for you. Yeah. Add metadata. If it's a product, add a picture of the product. If you need a video, add video. Any metadata, add. This is your product, and you can put anything about it there. And also, you need to manage. You need a management to edit it, to send it to someone, to see what it is. It's all there waiting for you. Now, I have to say, I'm working for 8 years about this project. We founded MAMAY just last year. We did it with no funding. We did it ourselves. So it's there, and we need your support. So we're giving you 2 weeks to use that, do whatever you want, and then next, we will ask you to pay us a little. Support us. Support us in bringing this concept to life. It's going to give you a lot of value. I can tell you about the value. You're going to get 50% of any price that we are going to choose in the future. We are going to give you saltiness soon. We're going to talk about it later. You are going to be our 100 best. Be there. I'm not alone. We have a team. This team was working together for about 5 years, trying to figure out what we are doing with this concept, doing POCs. But there are 3 basic modules that are very important for this venture to come to life, because it's new. We need, first of all, Dr. Michael Zvieli, that is sitting here and is going to speak later on. And he is going to talk to you about chemistry. Now, second, this is to know what is the product. Second, we need to know what people feel about it, how they feel about it. This is the product, this is the taste, this is the sweetness, you like it, someone else don't like it, girls like it more, all kinds of data. So we need Coley here, that is responsible on sensory, and she's going to speak with you soon. Then we need AI to support us, because we are dealing with an enormous amount of data. And we need all this data to be run through a process that we teach us more. And this is what we are doing with AI, and this is why we're having Gatbuber. And it's a business. We need to make money, not too much money, some money, but we want to do so much, so this is what Tidhar Tsuri is here to help us doing that. More than that, there are a lot of people from around this place. As you understand, we are in Margalit, Startup City, in the northern of Israel. We are part of a big ecosystem that built here in Israel to bring food science, and you call it like food tech or agri-tech, to bring it to the highest level can be done. And we know how to do that. We did it in other sectors like fintech, like cyber. We are going to do it here about food tech. And we believe that we are part of this ecosystem, and we love to be part of this ecosystem. Especially, I would like to thank Dr. Fernando Schwed, that was the one that first helped me to understand what is sweetness. What are sweeteners, how they work with each other, what I need to take care in order to bring such a system to life, because it's a big responsibility. It's a responsibility to bring these numbers to you. We will need your feedback in order to be able to say, in 3 months from now, it's there. You checked it, you try it. We say, taste it, test it. So thank you especially for Fernando.
Hi, my name is Coley, and I have a PhD in chemistry from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And most of my professional life was dedicated to the chemistry of flavors and fragrances. And in my career, I was the vice president for R&D of Frutarom for 11 years. And since then, I worked in China for 3 years as a CTO of an American private company having 7 plants in China, producing flavors and fragrances. So that's my background and what I'm bringing to the table here. לא עובר. ימין, אני לוחץ על ימין. לא עובר. One moment. Technology. קדימה. So, as Yuval told you already, MAMAY develops the val value, an interval quantitative empirical scale for each taste. And it will give us objective taste description of all food and beverage that we eat or drink. So we have in our database already 70 different sweeteners, from sucrose and glucose and fructose till stevia and monk fruit and all what's in between. As a case study, I would like to show you an example of a sweetening formula developed by a beverage company. So the idea is to have a sweetener in this juice, which will have 10% sucrose. עביר קדימה. Here you can see how we calculated using the developed algorithm. For example, our target is to have a sweetness of 10%. 10% sucrose, 10 grams in 100 ml of water. And when we operate the algorithm, we will get 29 val of sweetness. We can do it the same with a mixture of sucrose, fructose, and glucose. And here we will use the right ratios or the right relation of the masses of fructose, glucose, and sucrose. In 100 ml, we will get the same 29 val of sweetness. So both results, or sucrose alone, or sucrose, glucose, and fructose, will give us the 29 val of sweetness. Next stage, next slide, please. Okay, next stage will be to develop a no-sugar sweetener. We want to sweeten a beverage, for example, but without sugar. So we should take artificial sweeteners or natural sweeteners, for example, and we can calculate in front we can do a simulation of the sweetness of this formulation. For example, here, we can take two different artificial sweetener formulation. For example, the first one is acesulfam K and aspartame, and in these mass units, in 100 milliliters of water, and when we operate the algorithm in the software, we'll get the same number of 29, which is our target. We can also use sucralose, 25 milligrams of sucralose in 100 ml of water, we'll get the same 29. So this can be done also for natural sweeteners, as we can see in the next slide. So here we show you a simulation which is done for a natural sweetener formulation, in which we take, for example, 5 grams of erythritol and stevia and monk fruit. These quantities in 100 ml will give us the same 29 val. So, one back, sorry. So, after operating this val algorithm to yield the required simulation, then we can choose the ones which are tried experimentally, and then we can do the sensory test. We can validate them by sensory test. So we can do many simulations, and after that, we can choose the best one and do a real sensory test. Next slide, please. Also, smell can be described using the val concept, and we are using the odor attributes and odor impact of each odorant in the flavor and in the fragrance. So this enables us to develop any flavor or fragrance formulation for food, beverage, and cosmetics industry. Thank you.
Okay, I'm back. I don't need this anymore. Well, this is what we've done, and this is what we are showing you. We want to show you something that exists already, not something that is going to exist in the future, something that you can use now, tomorrow, after you finish this event. But we have more. We are showing only sweetness because we believe that there needs time to consume what we are doing. There is needed time to understand how it can work, and then we can continue. But we want to show you what is next. So by September 12th, we have a date. It's going to be another event. You are going to be invited. I hope you're going to come. We are going to release saltiness here in the north. And saltiness includes another bench of molecules, but they affect our test buds for salt. And it's working for the same concept. There is 1 val of saltiness, 2 val, 3 val, and so on. By December 31st, this number is very important for us because we want to say it's there. This is what we want to say. We are going to release saltiness, bitterness, sourness, so we have all the 5 scents. Now, there are more scents. There are functional taste, what we feel spicy, what we feel about metallic, cooling. We're taking care about that too. We're taking care not only about that, we're taking care also about odor. Because the concept for taste is the same for the concept for odor. For when we smell something, bad smell, we don't know how to say how much we feel about this taste, how much it is, and then to relate to it. So this is samples, just a sample of 4 out of 3,000 molecules that we already work on, that we know how to describe, quantify the smell of each one of them. Putting them all together, it's a product. Odor, smell, feel, and that's what we've done for orange juice. My company that I was the CEO of the 3 years before MAMAY, we were trying to take out sugar in a physical way from orange juice. And the question we asked ourselves all the time, what will be the taste of the orange juice after we'll use the sugar. So we build a system from A to Z to understand perfectly what is the taste, odor, and feel of orange juice, and see through all of the process, from the development to the production to the end user, what is happening regarding these sensoric feelings. And it's there. Next stage is creating a QR code for the product, be able for the user to just scan it and get that. Now we have it already, and I would like to take now Lugassi, that did our React app, in order to be able to show that. And we are going to show it to you later on. But more than that, there is something that I call next. Why we are doing all this? Why we are thinking about quantifying taste, digitizing taste? We are talking more and more to machines. Machines are producing what we are eating, what we are drinking. Machines are serving us in vending machine, in all kind of personalization project machines that giving us exactly what I want. Because the same as cancer, my cancer, I don't have one, don't worry, is not the same as your cancer. I'm not hoping that you are going to have one. So my taste is not as your taste, but I know how to relate when I have numbers. So think about all these machines, and we want to talk with them and to tell them, make my coffee, make my ice cream, make my tea, make my ice, whatever want to make, and I want to make it for me. So I need a language, and this is the language that we are developing. In order to show it, we are building a bot that will be able to talk about taste the same as we, because we are going to give him HPLC, we are going to give him GCMS, we are going to give him anything that he needs in order to understand the reality as our test bud do. And he will know how to talk about taste. I want to show you an example.
Hi, my name is Yu and I am a bot. I hope you help me explore what taste is. Let's start with sweetness. For me to feel how sweet it is, I need sweetness to be quantified. For that, Taste Gauge installed its algorithm in me. The algorithm, in any volume, based on the compound mass, defines the sensation impact. The val value is the impact of sweetness that I feel. Help me to understand taste, odor, and feel as you do. Digitize. Very soon, Taste Gauge will include saltiness, bitterness, sourness, umami, kokumi, oleo, odor, and feel. Then I could have a fluent and intelligent conversation with you about taste. I'm looking forward to that day. Sweet day, you.
Hi, I'm Coley, and I'm very excited to be here. I'm joined MAMAY, for the last 5 years now, and this is a major day for us. And I'm doing sensory research for the last 23 years, and I know how much the industrial really thirsty for innovation in the sensory field. And why I'm so exciting? Because we are bringing you the future for understanding the sensory preference of different target audience. So what we are doing in sensory research, we try to understand the preference in different products. Here in MAMAY, we can predict and understand the sensory preference in different target audience. And how can we do it? So first of all, from my point of view, we need to understand the consumer. So what we are doing, we are building user profile. We are like to call it the taste flower, by understanding each person, what he likes and don't like. So it's very easy for us to do it. Each person can answer a very short questionnaire, like a do yourself questionnaire, do you know yourself questionnaire, and then we can understand what you like or don't like in general. For example, here in the slide you can see that this person really likes spicy. And you really like also sweet. Why I say you really like sweet? Because when we go to other product, we understand, for example, for Coca-Cola, the sweetness of Coca-Cola is between 30 to 35. It depends when they are manufactured, this Coca-Cola. So we know if this person like sweet 31 val, so we really like sweetness. But he doesn't like bitter at all. So we can understand what person like or don't like before even tasting anything. Then what we are doing, we are doing a pairing. So we're taking in one hand what is the user taste flower. On the other end, we have the sensory profile of the product, and we are doing pairing, and we're able to predict if one person will like this person without even tasting it. And what is beautiful, that it's working. For example, here we have iced tea with lime and Louisa, and we understand the taste flower of the product, and we can compare it the taste flower of the person. And we can predict if one will like this product and the other will not like the product before even tasting. Also, what is very interesting, that we already did a couple of POC for this system. For example, here I can present you a project that we did in China for milk tea. So we have different samples of milk tea. They are very different in the sweetness. So we build the sensory flowers of the sweetness of each product. And then we go to the consumer. We did a quantitative research. So each person filled his questionnaire, and by his questionnaire, we can predict if we like the product and not like the product. Then we ask the participant to taste the product, and we saw that our systems can really predict the sensory overall evaluation of each product. And we succeed also almost in 17% in the first try, and then we came to 95% ability to predict if one will love the product and won't love the product. And we are using all kind of AI tool, using by Gadi Buber, our CTO, that we can understand the prediction of each product. Another POC that we did is for water, mineral water. Mineral water is very complex in sensory way because it's very, very simple product, only water. So what we did, we took a different product of water, 6 different brands, and we build with our system the sensory profile of the product using the VAL. And then we go to the consumer. And we saw that there is 4 different target audience for different liking. So there will be one that will like one product, and other don't like the other product. And we can predict it with using our system. So this is why I'm very, very excited, because this system will change our sensory research that we are doing today. And I am inviting you to use this system and to give us a feedback so we can make it even better and better, so you can use and predict how much you like the product without even taste it. Thank you.
For a second, I would like to thank a very special person named Howard Moshkowitz, Professor Howard Moshkowitz, and also Malcolm Gladwell, that in the 90s did a feature, a movie, a TED, about this person and his concept of taste. And Professor Howard Moshkowitz was my inspiration for bringing this concept to the world, speaking about horizontal segmentation of products, no good product, no bad product, how important it is to personalize products that are food and beverage to fit anybody needs. And till today, Professor Howard Moshkowitz is personally giving me inspiration and leading me personally in my way through understanding how sweet is sweet. Thank you. If we have a few questions, and I would like to invite Gadi Bober, Tidhar Tsuri, please, my partners, Karen Coley, Dr. Michael Tzvieli,
So it's working like this. I'm going to
questions, and then I find out who will be the best one to answer. First question is very simple, $297. Could you please clarify for how long? So for 2 weeks, anyone can use the system for free, and the $297 are actually $99 per month for 3 months. Later on, based on the feedbacks we get, based on what you are going to tell us, we are going to continue. We are going to give the first 100 users an enormous discount on anything that we're going to do in the future. So please be our first 100. Next. Can you help us with quality assurance? So I believe maybe Gadi, because we did something related to that, and maybe you can answer.
So in terms of quality assurance, we've done, I cannot specify the name of the company, but it's a big company worldwide that is doing something with the coffee. And we actually could pair, or we got data from GCMS, and this data we use to align or to understand how the quality of the coffee will be. So we came to a conclusion, or to an algorithm that could say strictly by the chemicals of the coffee if people are going to like it. So for us, it was a very good sign that this system can work.
You know, coffee, what we checked, have more than 70 molecules that just affecting odor. But if you have enough data on these molecules, you can expect what people will say about this. Each one of them, if we ask them questions, we know better. But we can tell what the taste of this coffee. In this specific concept, it was odor. Next. Can you give us an example of actual POC? I think we did it, but maybe, Karen, you can elaborate a little bit?
For the POC, we try to understand if we have the ability to predict what people will say about the product before even they taste it. So we did it for milk tea, and we did it for mineral water. In one hand, we ask participants what they like or don't like in a simple, very simple questionnaire. And we give them to taste something. And the other end, we took the product and use all the chemical and all the analysis that we have about the product itself. And we try with our system to predict what people will say about the product. And there were a couple of things that were amazing. In the end, we will have more than 19% succeed in predicting if someone will like something or will not before they're testing it.
Cool. Thank you. There is another question here I would like maybe Tidhar to answer. Everybody's asking us about the business, or business model, how it works, and what we are expecting from that. So can you elaborate a little bit about our business model?
Hi, thank you for the questions. Allow me to split it into 2 periods. For the nearest future, okay, we develop a SaaS platform that enable manufacturer, food and beverage manufacturer, to enhance and to enhance their development phase, meaning that they can use, as Michael showed you before, they can use our simulation, our simulator, to simulate, to put all the ingredients of the product, all the compounds inside the simulator, and understanding what is the outcome, what is the impact on the taste, on the odor, and on the feel. And by the way, by doing that, you can produce your product much more easier and faster, because you don't need to open a lab and working with the test panels. You can do all the iteration inside the simulator. At the second thing, second period, at let's say it's not so far future, but in about 2 to 3 to 4 years, okay, as Yuval mentioned before, we develop another language. We take the taste and the odor into the digitalized. And by doing that, you can communicate taste and odor. And by communicating taste and odor, you can talk with the machine. Even now, most of the food today are producing via machine, vending machine or other machine, they are producing our food. More than that, a lot of startup and new companies are developing substance for meat, for milk, for sugar, for almost anything. But the taste is not good as the real product. Now, in order to communicate the taste and whatever you want to communicate and produce the outcome that you want, you need to use our system. And by doing that, you can attach to the system from remote with any computer and get a quantify of taste according to the recipe that you have. That's all.
I think there is a question here about that. I want to finish with this business model thing. Pricing includes access to models of any, only just for sweetness. So we are now releasing sweetness, and then we are going to release saltiness, and the prices is going to include both of them. Future on, we need to learn. In order to survive, we need to have to build a reasonable pricing for this service. We want to continue the research, and there is so much to do. So we would love to give it for free for anyone. This is my passion, but we can't do that. So we are not passionate for money in general. We are passionate on bringing this concept to the world. But as you know, money is important. I would like to get to another question that is more into what we are showing here, which is TestGauge sweetness. Maybe Michael.
The question here is, what about synergy of off notes when sweetness coming from stevia and monk fruit? So as we all know, for example, stevia and also monk fruit has aftertaste and off notes, as you call it, but we call it aftertaste or by tastes. So stevia, for example, has a metallic aftertaste, has bitterness, has licorice aftertaste, and mouth-drying aftertaste, and we are putting all the parameters which belong to this. So, for example, if stevia is sweet, let's say 10 val, it will be bitter, maybe 1 val. So we will get a flower of taste which will include all the aftertaste of stevia, all the aftertaste of monk fruit, and their effect on the total val. So this is about the question about the off notes.
We are using a lot of terms inside the industry to trying to explain our feelings regarding the food and the drink that we are drinking. We are saying there is a flavor, and we don't know exactly what it is, and there is taste, and is how it feels, and everybody thinks it's so personal, and they're right, it's personal. But we need to have something to relate to, and we are going to relate to any sensation that any sweetness is giving to people, because it's science. It's how these compounds affect our tone, affect our nerve, affect our nose. Looking, you know, we are thinking about doing a test of what is the crunchy of carrot, and show it in front of the crunchiness or the crunch that is coming out from apple. So everything is measurable. It's just, we just need to quantify it, and this is exactly what we are doing. We are going to have numbers to any sensation related to food and drink. This is a promise.
Another question here is as following. As you mentioned, scent or odor, okay? Scent is odor, may affect taste perception. How do you measure the impact of scent on val? This is the question. So for odor, we have the same val algorithm. However, we use different algorithm. I mean, it's much more complicated for odor because the odor of a molecule is affected by many, many physical and chemical parameters. So we are giving, as you saw before, Yuval showed you that we are giving a val value to each odor molecule, and then we will have the val value for each odor molecule, the val value for each taste molecule. And as we today are using synergy effect between the sweetener molecules, we will in the future, we will develop also a synergy between the odor and the taste, as you will see in the future. Again, we are a new company, and today we are just launching the sweetness. But the end will be also with odor and the effect of odor on the valve of taste.
This is very important things to understand. When people are talking about how people feel about food and beverage, they always say that it's like subjective. It's something that I feel. How come you're going to tell me what I like or don't like? We are not saying. We even don't know how you are going to feel. I don't know how 20-val is going to work for you. It's going to work for each one of you. Maybe you're going to like it. Maybe now, I don't know even what will happen if we add some sourness to this sweetness. We don't know, but we can tell. It's like colors, you know, or music. We're putting notes, we're writing something, and someone plays that, and this is what's come out. We're putting blue, yellow, red in a combination, and something is coming up. We take the same concept and we bring it in the food to the food and beverage industry. We are going to tell you how sweet it is, how sour it is, how bitter it is, whatever. You need to tell us what you think about it.
So we are creating a language that everybody can understand and communicate taste and odor.
Exactly. This is what we do. So I think we finish about this question that we got. Thank you very much for asking these questions. I'm sure you have much more questions to ask us. Please communicate with us in any means. Go to the sites, contact us, advise us. We would love to work on the taste of your product, and we are waiting for you. Thank you.